Hi, David Erdos with poem 79 from David's COVID. This is called Cumming's Undone, or On Taking a Piss. Suddenly he's a saint, and the media are the sinners, for daring to describe the sly actions that he so amateurishly rebuked. The journalist Harry Lambert relates how the PM's essay once referred to said media as irrelevant to his purpose, with today's slapback forcing Cummings to seem human, right down to at least 3 descriptions of his wife Mary's puke. Sick, of course, comes in 3s, so we were forewarned of such stories, as told by shaggy dogs, fairies, liars, and criminals too, my lad? And so he slid into sun as grubs will do when stones are lifted, idling his way to a shaky canteen-like table like a vampire seeking shadow in order to regain strength and blood. A convoluted story was read, with every breath and step detailed, from house to car to somewhere close to Newcastle, or rather later on to an old one, in order to barricade the news flood. The trouble is, he was late, and late by 32 minutes. The appointed time arrived and seemed longer than any normal half an hour should take. What do you think that says, strategist? It says to me you were writing, as I am now seeking detail. Or did the number 10 printer break? Were you waiting for the words that you delivered so badly? At 4:42 p.m, you part stumbled and started to improvise from the text. You must have been rattled for sure, what with the sudden concerns for your eyesight, and your wife's apparent corona, albeit without a hot cough. Geez, Dom, what next? And so you decided to go, slipping out while the neighbours were dreaming about their stopped futures and because of extreme circumstance. Which was what? Some pale fear that maybe you had it, and so had a private doctor confirm it without the needle or swab sweetened dance. I'm sure I'm not getting this right. People have died. What exception? Which extremity fueled you as you raced away, seeking north? I'm just trying to understand, not deny. After all, you know what happened, but we don't. I'm no wiser, apart from your saying that the media's magic wand just distorts. You didn't even tell your blonde boss when day 15 saw you fit for travel. Sorry, which day was it? When you went to seek shelter inside your father's outhouse. I lost when it was you were sick and when you went out on your test drive. Your son would be taken care of by your nieces if you had to return to work, there's no doubt. So if you did need to return, undiagnosed and untested, you still had to drive around just to measure if you could make it all the way back to the smoke. So you got in the car, which we might call a good old jalopy, to horse around in the country close to Castle Barnard. It's a joke. And then, of course, comes the piss that you and your son were both taking. As a matter of fact, the boy's urine was a positive river of gold in the sun. Reflected in it, you shone, having done nothing wrong. Never ever. A child's invocation, if ever I heard. Bubble-gummed. If you prick it, it pops and sags across your face, pink tongue lagging, leaking wasted words that politeness from the first 2 journalists also scored, as they failed to follow up, offering a weak okay at your answers, which I repeat seemed tight-plotted as you single-spaced away after 4. Apparently you are crucial to everything now, but like a god. You're trying to sort the science out and the money. St. Dominic and Teresa, mother, not May, in all of these troubled days. You search for the vaccine and escape, and so naturally prefer shadow, which also means truth is darkness if you are as important to us as you say. Because I thought you were an advisor, you see. But now you're an active force, an enabler, an unelected selection who gets to discern what will be. But there's a snag, a real snag, and this is what stokes all the anger. Like a psychopath, you kept at it, and like the emotionally remote, through your staring, you didn't think to say, I'm sorry. You're allowed to care for your wife and for your son as well, of course. Hope they're better. But the trouble is, you're undone now. So even if you win, we will see what is being done in our name and what sort of game you are playing. This isn't even about different rule books. This is about secrecy. We never know the full truth. We know that the world over. But what it actually is may be acid when someone like you starts to pee. Dominic, there is a world full of people, even if you'd like them cold. And once accused, guilt stays with you and receives no real clemency. Gary Gibbon had it. He said that Johnson knew when you did it. It just didn't concern him until the public got to know through the press. Those damn journalists, who, let us be in no doubt, are not angels, but whose divine command is to tell us what is coming our way to kill next. We get the politicians we deserve. But we didn't ask for you, did we? Well, you're a politician now, wiping language. In the tissue of society's lies we're the Kleenex into which you cast and cough each dark spit. This story may pass, or you may contrive other stories to blur it. But just as your son stained the country, so you stain it too with bullshit. Words hang heavy, old son, and I believe there are none that will ever assuage you. The street where you live won't forgive you, and neither will we, for your aims, which you never unveil as we travel down through your darkness. Dominic, you can't rewrite this. The piss is taken now. Pass the blame? David Erdos, May the 26th, 2020.